good news to share with you, and thought that we could have just a brief discussion about what it means. So, today on his Truth Social website, Donald Trump endorsed candidate in Congressional District 3 here in Missouri, which is my district. It's where I live. And I've been here since 2019. I'm originally from Missouri, grew up on the west side of Missouri in a little town called Peculiar. Some of you might already know a little bit about my bio. But born and raised Missourian and moved to Jefferson City in 2019 and been there ever since. Own property here, know the community very well, and know the district very well. And I can say this that this race is highly contested. The Republican primary is highly contested between Dr. Bob Onder, Kurt Schaefer, and then one other candidate who really isn't sort of popping up on anybody's radar. But the endorsement of Donald Trump for Dr. Bob Onder is a massive win for Liberty Republicans here in Missouri. If you're still on the side of limited government and Republicans, and you're planning on vote for Donald Trump this fall, and if you're ever sometimes confused by some of his endorsements, I can tell you that the endorsement of Dr. Bob Onder here in this district where I live by Donald Trump is a big win for Liberty. How you doing, Jasper? Thanks for tuning in here with us. We appreciate that. Click that like button, brother. Um, so Dr. Bob Onder is someone who I've known for ever since I moved here. He is a doctor. He works uh, with diseases of the lungs, and he is a conservative. He's been a senator here in the state of Missouri, so he's got legislative experience. Currently running for Congress, so the House of Representatives here in CD3, which is Mid Missouri. My district runs from Mid Missouri, the Lake of the Ozarks, up to all the way over to St. Charles, Missouri. So it's a very big district, and Dr. Bob Onder is running to replace Blaine Lukemeyer, who perfectly fine fellow himself, but not what you might consider a limited government Republican. Or, when you think about conservative, I mean, he's more of the big government type, right? Whereas Dr. Bob Onder, who I've known for several years now, he was actually in attendance at mine and Steffi's wedding, so that's how well we know each other. Dr. Bob Onder was instrumental in helping me to fight back against COVID tyranny, especially here in mid-Missouri, but around the rest of the state. Dr. Bob Onder was an expert on the coronavirus pandemic. He was every step of the way keeping an open mind. He was not, being an ideologue this way or that way, or just jumping on board with, being a vaxxer or an anti-vaxxer. Either way, he was just very much about, what does the science say? What do we know about the pandemic? What do we know about the virus? What do we know about these vaccines as they come in or out? Dr. Bob Under kept a very open mind. And as the pandemic bill grew from 2020 on to around 2022, Dr. Bob Onder's his opinions evolved as more information came out. And so I highly recommend that if you haven't already, that you should definitely follow Dr. Bob Onder over on X. He's got Donald Trump's endorsement, which I know for many people, like they may say, oh, well, he's endorsed, maybe neocons or big government Republicans in the past. This is one of those endorsements that he absolutely got right. This one, and I do believe that it will help Dr. Bob Onder win the Republican primary here in CD3. So keep an eye on this race, and if you get a chance, talk to if you get a tweet at Donald Trump, I would definitely do that. Give him a shout out and say thank you for endorsing the conservative in this race. So, if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask. Looks like Jay is already there. Why are you yapping? Well, that's what live streaming is. That's the point. What am I supposed to do, brother? I'm not a TikTok dancer. So, if anybody else has any other questions, let me know. But this primary here in Congressional District 3 in mid Missouri, is between Dr. Bob Onder and a gentleman by the name of Kurt Schaefer, who is much less of a limited government conservative type. So if you think that limited government policies are good, if you're a big fan of actual conservatives, then I would say that Dr. Bob Onder is somebody that you should know. So make sure that you follow him over on X, and check out what Donald Trump wrote about him today. Now, Bob Onder, luckily, thankfully, was a delegate for Donald Trump back in 2016. So he's been sort of an OG organizer for Donald Trump. And he was also an organizer for Donald Trump's campaign, Get Out the Vote operation in Iowa of this year. Uh, Bowling Balls asked, "What will be the next attempt to try to stop Trump?" Boy, that is a great question because at this point, he's really removed a lot of the obstacles in his way. The case, the Supreme Court case, the that Trump won last week, is really gonna get a lot of the obstacles that Donald Trump had. The legal challenges to him are really going to get knocked out of the way because of that. Frickety says, "What up? What's up, Fred?" He says, "Dr. Bob was on the Wake Up America show not too long ago." Yes, and he will be on the Wake Up America show tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Central Time, if you'd like to see Dr. Bob talking about his endorsement by Donald Trump, definitely tune in for that. So really, the only option is a parallax view type of scenario. Curious what you mean by that threshold moment. Interesting comment there, and certainly sounds very big brainy. So please clue me in on what you're talking about there. But Donald Trump has a lot of the obstacles out of his way. You've got Joe Biden, who has no idea what the hell is going on. It's a fascinating scenario that we have right now, but we shouldn't get cocky just because things are going so well. For the first time in my life, I'm looking at having a congressman who is my congressman who I actually like. Now, I will say this, that of the two senators from Missouri, Eric Schmidt, the junior senator in the state of Missouri, is actually a very good, I won't necessarily say he's a liberty Republican, but he's a good conservative Republican, an actual like limited government conservative Republican. So we are blessed by having some liberty Republicans in federal representation here from the state of Missouri. So Bowling Balls asked, are they going to try and sweep out Sleepy Joe at the last minute? I think so. I mean, I know Vivek Ramaswamy has been saying that's going to be the case since last year, but I agree with him. I think they are going to try and swap out Joe. They already have a move going on today. I saw that there were two prominent Democrats who were circulating letters asking for Joe Biden to step down and for there to be a contested convention at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. So it'll be interesting to see if that actually happens. Frickety says he thinks Whitmer is the dark horse for the Biden switch. Yeah, possibly. Could be. Threshold says there's a movie called The Parallax View. If you watch the movie, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I am going to check that out as soon as this live stream is over. So thank you, Threshold. The only difference in that movie and the reality we're in is that the assassin will be a social justice warrior brainwashed type. Brother, I can see it. I'm definitely going to check out that movie now. So thank you very much for that recommendation. If we don't have any other questions, then I'll let it go. I just wanted to talk about this because I know that people were excited to see that Dr. Bob Onder got that endorsement. It's my congressional district. We're going to send, provided that he does win the primary, which I imagine this will put him over, we're going to send another Liberty Republican to Washington, D.C. this fall, and I'm really excited about it. I'll actually have my own representative being a Liberty Republican in Congress, and it just goes to show that as dismal and dark as people can get, and I know that people are all about doom scrolling and gloom and doom, but it looks as if we are starting to see some positive outputs. We are starting to see some positive things happening in this country. So look for the positive stuff. And if you really want more, positivity, then you definitely want to check out the Wake Up America show, which is live 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time here on this channel. And of course, we do stream it on Rumble as well. Typically, we do better on Rumble than we do on YouTube because YouTube doesn't like this kind of message. They don't like it when we talk about the freedoms. We don't like it when we talk about limited government and more personal liberty. They want me to talk about statism, and they want me to talk about why a man is a woman and a woman is a man. They want to talk about other ridiculous stuff. You know what they don't want? They don't want beautiful libertarians who know how to create gorgeous flower gardens like these. Look at this. Hold on. Look at this beautiful garden. Oh, maybe I should. Life in mid-Missouri. Soon we'll have a Liberty Republican representing us. What's up, Jose? Thanks for joining us, Threshold. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hope to see you guys again soon, or maybe tomorrow morning on the Wake Up America show. Have a good night.